Let's call the meeting to order. Roll call. Hayden. Here. Sherry.
Here.
Ty. Here. Ben. Here. Joe Vernon's the only one that's missing. Okay. But everybody's please stand and say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All the public comment will be allowed at the mayor's discretion during regular meetings. This is exclusive of items requiring a public hearing. The mayor reserves the right to limit the total amount of public comment and or impose a time limit for each speaker at the regular meeting. In order to facilitate input at the mayor's discretion, each eligible agenda item will be provided an opportunity for public comment after staff and applicant presentations. Please wait to be recognized by the mayor and then proceed to the podium. State your name and address. See anybody? Is there anybody online? Okay, moving on. Number 3, consent agenda. Need a motion for the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, this is Sherry, and I would move to approve the consent agenda.
Have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
You need discussion?
Mm.
None being seen. I'll take a vote. Hayden.
Aye.
Sherry.
Aye.
Ty.
Aye.
Ben.
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Do we have any unfinished business at this time, Leslie?
Do not.
Okay. Item number 5, Board of Zoning Appeals appointments. Somebody want to start it off or maybe 2?
Thank you, Mayor Leslie Riverola, City Administrator. In your packet this evening are suggested appointments to the Board of Zoning Appeals. The city does have a Board of Zoning Appeals. The Board of Zoning Appeals is responsible for hearing and making decisions related to applications for variances. You do have an existing member that currently serves on the Board of Zoning Appeals. However, a couple of the appointments have since expired, and one of the members that had previously served on the BZA actually moved out of the city limits and to another state. So we've reached out to different people who have participated in either city committees or other projects and have expressed an interest in continuing to provide service to the city. And so staff does recommend, of course, with the mayor's suggestion and then consent of the council, Miss Janice Spillman. She actually recently served on the Field of Dreams Committee. You may remember her name.
Mm-hmm.
We're suggesting her term through January 31st of 2026. Mr. David Howard, former school superintendent. He actually served on the Planning Commission for a very short stint before moving outside of the city limits. He has since relocated back into the city limits of Basehor and expressed an interest in getting re-involved. And then Mr. Will Lindquist, he was actually on our active transportation plan committee. And then Mr. Brian Freeman is actually already on the BZA and his appointment has expired. So that's the slate of folks that we would suggest and put forth. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Has anybody talked to Steve Foss?
We have, and he said that he wants to continue on.
It's okay. Is there a reason why we can't reappoint him tonight to put them all together? So all 5 of them?
I don't see any.
I don't think there would be an issue with it. It's October.
We can wait. I just saying so that we don't have to bring it back.
I don't think there's a reason or anything that would prohibit you from doing that, but I probably would recommend waiting closer to the expiration date in case anything changes between now and then.
Okay.
Interest perhaps, or your interest.
Okay. So I'm asking that you guys appoint Janice Spillman, David Howard, and William Lindquist, and reappoint Mr. Brian Freeman. So I need a motion.
Would all of those need to be stated in the motion?
I think, yes, that would be our preference. And if you could also say, that the first three appointments would be through January 31st of 2026, and Mr. Brian Freeman would be through October of 2025. That'd be great. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the Board of Zoning Appeals members as stated. Janice Spillman, David Howard, and William Lindquist, with an expiration date of January 31st of 2026. And Brian Freeman, with an expiration date of October 31st, 2025.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Ms. Hayden, I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No.
Okay, so I'll take a vote. Hayden?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Ty?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Moving on to item number 6, appointment of prosecutor and municipal judge. I am asking for the reappointment of Mr. Bill Hutton, the Honorable Bill Hutton, and to fulfill his role as municipal judge, and Nate Sutton to fulfill the role of city prosecutor. We've talked to both of them and they would like to keep serving. We've had a great working relationship since I appointed Honorable Bill Hutton a year ago, and I'd like to reappoint him and Nate Sutton if you guys agree. Is there any questions for me on them?
No term limit, miss. Are these an annual appointment?
And
These are an annual appointment, and actually subject to the charter ordinances that you approved in the fall of 2022. These used to be annual appointments in May. And so once you chartered out of the appointment process, the governing body passed an ordinary ordinance to make these two positions an annual appointment in February. And that's why it's in front of you tonight instead of in May.
Any other questions? I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, this is Sherry, and I would move to approve the Honorable Bill Hutton to fulfill the role of the municipal judge, and then also Nate Sutton to fulfill his role with the city.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Take a vote. Ty?
Aye.
Sherry?
Aye.
Hayden?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Moving on to item number 7, acceptance of easements and right of way for the Baser connected projects, 155th Street improvements project and 158th Street parallel trail improvements, Metro Green project.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Maddie Waldeck, Assistant City Administrator. Included in your packet tonight is a list of the tracks for the two Baser connected projects, 155th Street Improvements Project and the Metro Green Trail Project. Those are the tracks that we've been able to get voluntary signatures for the easement acquisitions. And so we would respectfully request authorization for the mayor to execute those, for the city to accept them. And then that would allow the city to go ahead and send the compensation that was negotiated with these property owners. We do have Alan Skeens, our property acquisitions agent, on Zoom. And we also have Paul Moore, our project manager from Olson, an engineer from Olson. Should you have any questions for the tracks that are included. As of today, we have 45 of 57 voluntarily acquired. So we're very excited for that number. And for the 12 that are remaining, I know Maria will have a brief presentation about a subsequent item. And as we stated in the previous meetings, we will continue to work with property owners as much as possible throughout this process. So we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Does anybody have any questions for Maddie?
Just a comment. I appreciate how long this list is and the fact that there were additions over the last week. It's great.
Awesome. Anybody else?
No,
Oh, agree. Okay. So are we gonna, do I just move on to 8 or are you gonna need a motion for that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I would move that we accept the easements and right of way listed here for the Baser connected projects at 155th Street Improvement and 158th Street Parallel Trail.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No.
Okay, call for a vote. Hayden?
Aye.
Sherry?
Aye.
Ty?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Moving on to item 8, condemnation ordinance number 870.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Last week, if you'll recall, the council adopted resolution 2023-1, declaring that it is necessary to use the city's condemnation power for a specific purpose and ordering a survey of the land to be condemned. Since that time, since last week, that survey has been completed and filed with the city clerk as it is required under state statute. And so the ordinance before you tonight, ordinance 870, represents step 2 in the condemnation proceedings. This ordinance authorizes the taking of the property, ordering the land condemned, and authorizing the filing of a petition in Leavenworth County District Court. And if the ordinance is adopted by you all this evening, then staff will work to file that petition in district court in the coming weeks. As Maddie mentioned, staff continues to communicate with the remaining property owners if any of those tracts are acquired. Even after the petition is filed in district court, we can certainly remove them from our petition once we get there. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Maria?
Mayor, if I might just add a few updates for some of the tracks that are included on this item, particularly as it relates to the school district and the library. We have spoken to the library and they met late last week regarding our request. Their concern, as it's been relayed to us, is the city, at the city's expense, offered to construct a stairway up to the library parking lot, that kind of sidewalk where the butterfly garden is, that connected to the Metro Green Trail. Their concern was the ongoing maintenance responsibility and certainly the snow removal and those sorts of things. We have directed our engineer to go ahead and remove that stairwell from the project just to eliminate any confusion or any questions regarding that. And we've communicated with the library pretty frequently over the last week, and they will meet again in March and consider the easements at that time. Also with the school district, we were able to connect with Superintendent Powers. He has asked that we do a presentation on March 20th to their school board. Certainly we would have liked to have presented to them earlier, but we understand that the school district is very busy. And so we just appreciate the opportunity to do that. As you recall, when we started these projects, we were all very concerned about how this project would impact the school district's main office. And we all breathed a huge sigh of relief when we saw the plans and the building was still there and we didn't have to work with the school district to relocate that building. But their south loop of their parking lot is going to be eliminated. That was included in the appraisal. However, the city is also going to construct an additional extension of their north parking loop so that 2 cars can go pass through that as a additional consideration of what's happening. So we hope to get approval from the school board on March 20th, and we're honored to be able to go and present to them at that time. I would just like to say as an overarching statement, you can see Alan Skeens on the screen there. Hi, Alan. Alan has done a phenomenal job working with all the folks in the community, even the folks that have not executed the documents. It's been an honor to work with them going out into the community. This has been a great experience for all of us. As a general rule, everyone's very excited about this project, and we have just tried to approach this with as much consideration and kindness and respect as possible. And it's just been a great experience for everyone. So thank you.
I just want to say, Maddie, you've done a great job of hanging in there and doing a good job too. And a lot of communication's been going on. So you've been a busy lady. So thank you. And Maria, same thing to you. You put a lot of time and effort in this. So thank you, guys. Anybody else have any questions for Maria? Not seeing any. I'll call for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve ordinance number 870, ordering through the exercise of eminent domain, the condemnation of certain property interests identified in Exhibit A.
I hear a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. I'll call for a vote.
Mayor, could you also in the motion include the
Yep,
authorization?
note.
for us to file?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve ordinance number 870, ordering through the exercise of eminent domain in condemnation of certain property interests identified in Exhibit A and authorizing the filing of a petition in Leavenworth County District Court.
Yeah, good. Okay. I have a motion and a second. I'll call for a vote. Hayden?
Second the new amendment.
Oh, okay.
Amended.
We done. Hayden?
I know none of us prefer this path. Private property rights is a particularly important issue for me. And I know we had a lot of discussion around this last week, but I cannot support this ordinance with the number of permanent easements still in place. Nay.
Sherry?
Aye.
Ty?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Passes 3-1. Moving on, to item number 9, special question election, Gilmore and Bell, resolution 2023-02.
Thank you, Mayor. Maddie Waldeck, Assistant City Administrator. On Zoom, we have two folks with us. We have Mitch Walter from Gilmore and Bell and also Jack Ryan Feldman from Baker Tilly. Should you have any questions for those folks? This is a follow-up item from last week's meeting. We certainly received a lot of great feedback regarding this item. The resolution that's included in your packet is a resolution authorizing for us to proceed with an election for a 1% general sales tax for the purpose of police, parks, and pavement. I just want to reiterate to the public that this is not an approval to of the imposition of that 1% sales tax. This is an approval for staff to move forward with organizing the election with the Leavenworth County Elections Office. We certainly had a robust discussion last week, so we'd be happy to stand for questions at this time.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is something we've talked about for quite a while. We've looked at many various options and tried to consider what's best for the overall community. Anytime you talk about any kind of an increase. So I do appreciate everybody's discussions and efforts and, talking to the community. So thanks for that.
Agreed. I appreciate being able to put this out for a vote. And, again, I think the sunset's an important feature. So I appreciate that being added as well.
That's true.
Anybody else have anything?
I don't know if this is the right time, but I understand the city cannot advocate either way for this question. Is there any guidance to the governing body on what we can say personally?
We can certainly provide a more comprehensive guidance to you all, but Mitch can chime in as well, but just as a general matter in your capacity as public officials, certainly when you're here at governing body meetings or even out in the public in your capacity here as elected officials, you should try to refrain from vouching for a particular vote yes, vote no, and simply be there as a resource to educate the public. So, what you say in your private life, at dinner with friends to family, that's different, but, always try to think about in what capacity are you speaking. I don't know if Mitch wants to chime in on anything.
No, thank you, Maria. Mitch Walter with Gilmore and Bell. That's exactly right. I think the way to think about this in our discussion is usually boils down to common sense as it relates to, are you acting in your capacity as a member of the governing body of the city, or just in your personal capacity as a citizen of the city of Basehor? So when you're acting in your capacity as a member of the governing body, then you should refrain from advocating for a certain position, but it's perfectly fine to provide information that you have regarding, the planned uses of the sales tax or other information regarding the sales tax. Information is perfectly acceptable, and advocacy is over the line on the other side. So just ask yourself whether you're acting in your personal capacity or in your capacity as a member of the governing body, and that should basically provide the overall guideline for the line that we don't want to cross.
Perfect. Thank you both.
Anybody else have anything?
Good question.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, I move we approve resolution 2023-02, authorizing and providing for the calling of a special election for the purpose of submitting to the electors of the city the question of imposing a 1% retail sales tax.
Have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second. I'll call for a vote. Hayden?
Aye.
Sherry?
Aye.
Kai?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Moving on to item number 10, city administrator and staff reports. Chief, I'm gonna start with you.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. We have been working through current and past budgets. Always on our mind, trying to be judicious with the funds that we're allowed to spend. Some of those funds have gone to hire 2 new folks to fill some of the positions that were vacated. So we're really excited. My hope is that you get to meet the 2 new officers next month. I think they're going to bring something really spectacular to the table. We're excited about it. And going to try to set up, we got a really interesting training tool through some exceptional work by one of our sergeants. In fact, we have it set up and we're working through it this evening. So it's about an $80,000 JAG grant. We're able to a simulator. There'll be a post on our Facebook about it, I can imagine, this evening, but I'd love to do a formal presentation. Other than that, ever forward.
That's awesome, Chief. Great job as always.
Can I stop for a second? Have we thought about doing, and I know we were very engaged with the high school. Have we thought about doing any sort of little internships or things like that with the police department? I know, you know, there's a lot out there in regards to individuals becoming police officers and things like that anymore. And at the end of the day, I think as you think of small towns and building programs, and when I think of programs, I think of whether it's a wrestling team at high school or a football team or whatnot, they start from a very, very young age and they grow these kids off of this program. Why are we not looking at some of those same things as well to try to get some of these high school students engaged in being police officers?
Not only are we looking, we currently have 2 interns at the police department.
Okay, well, good deal.
We're working directly with the high school, and it escapes me the name of the program, but basically a work program. So these
Shame on me for not knowing that.
these students pick a particular path or field, and in this case, it was law enforcement and forensic investigation. So they'll be with us into the spring. It's the first time we've done anything like this, but
Okay.
we got really good response. The other thing that we do, and Maddie and Jean were involved, we work directly with the middle schools and their STEM program. In fact, we have presentations in April and May. So we are actively engaged not only with the community, but the students as well.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Can you get with Leslie and add that? And so in the state of the city that we can inform the public that we are working with the high school and something like that too.
Of course, I'm happy to do it.
Thank you so much, Chief. Crystal, you have anything?
Yes.
Thanks, Gene. Well, we recently had planning commission, as you all know. I guess we had a work session right after that, didn't we? So we are finishing those items up, getting ready to move those on to the next step. We're preparing for next month's planning commission already. We've got several items going next month and also in April. Some text amendments that we've talked about recently. Also, we've begun doing an analysis of some amenities that may have been required for some certain subdivisions within the city and figuring out a path forward on those. And that's kind of what it's been this last week or so.
Thank you very much. Gene?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Gene Miracle, Municipal Service Director. Just to reiterate again, our plans are at KDHE for the 2302 lift station. Thank you for approving the easements required for that this evening. Been participating with these wonderful ladies on many tasks over the week. They keep you busy. We're going after some new coal patch tomorrow, so we will be out patching potholes, hopefully tomorrow and Friday. Besides that, just keeping business.
Awesome. Thanks, Gene.
Thanks, Gene.
Kathy?
Thank you, Mayor. Council, just been working with the team actively on the Tomahawk Park groundbreaking ceremony.
Yes, as Kathy said, Tomahawk Park groundbreaking on March the 6th at 4 p.m. We will have some events for the family and the kiddos. So please feel free to bring those kiddos to enjoy the park. We will be sending out formal invitations tomorrow. That'll be posted on social media, sent to our governing body, our planning commission, and certainly everybody that was invited to the Civic Campus groundbreaking. We're also going to invite the kiddos from across the street at Baser Intermediate. Just a friendly reminder, they were instrumental in designing that park. And so we want to make sure that they're honored through that process. The State of the City tickets are on sale. They're $15 per ticket, and you can purchase it online. Just go to cityofbaser.org, select community, and then State of the City, and it walks you through the process. And we've had several people register. The tickets do go fast. So if you're interested in attending, I'd encourage you to do that quickly. And then we had several interviews for some of our vacant positions, including our customer service representative and communications specialist. They were very encouraging interviews. This is a very tough and competitive employment market, and I think it just speaks to the desirability of Baser as a top employer in the community, that we were able to receive such qualified applicants. So hoping to have some updates soon.
Thanks, Maddie. Carmen.
I have no updates. Good night.
That was not on purpose. Carmen, I can't get that out of my head.
Carmen has no updates. That's thank you.
How about Cameron?
Her neither.
I apologize for that. Okay, Maria,
I likewise have no.
okay. Do we have anybody online? Okay, Leslie.
Thank you, Mayor. I will just make this very quick. We had our 90% design review meeting with Hafer Walker today for the new City Hall project. Plans are progressing very nicely on the new City Hall. One of the items that will appear in front of the Planning Commission is the site plan and plating for that location. So we just continue to be very energized by the idea of a new facility. I think it's just going to be great. We are in the process of pre-qualifying contractors to bid on that project. Submittals for those pre-qualifications are due to the city on Monday, February the 27th. So if you know any contractors that might potentially be interested, please point them to our city website or get in touch with me. We look forward to that. Vance has been busy at work securing bids for the restroom improvements at the Field of Dreams. We're really trying to get that center concourse complete, hopefully in advance of really the spring season getting underway. So we look forward to getting that project started. And because we do not have another meeting between now and then, we will have a stakeholder meeting for the Leavenworth County Regional Transportation Plan here at City Hall on March the 22nd. So right in advance of our city council meeting, that begins at 5:30. And then that group is asked to make a brief presentation to the city council when your meeting starts. So lots of exciting things happening. I would just also like to say a big thank you to both Maddie and Councilmember Standiford. I know Councilmember Standiford made a presentation this week, and Maddie came in on her day off to help with that. I think, again, that really goes to show the commitment of our team and wanting to provide good support to our governing body. And also wanted to extend a thank you to the two of them for kind of dividing and conquering today. We were at the design meeting for City Hall, and they went and represented our interests at a meeting related to the Panasonic project. So lots of exciting stuff happening. We're a small team, but definitely mighty. So.
A lot going on. Okay, council member report. You have anything, Aiden?
I do not.
I do not.
Ben?
I have one quick thing. I've had some discussions with some Falcon Lakes neighbors of mine in regards to cars parking along Falcon Lakes Drive. And I think this is something that's been happening for quite some time. And I think it's kind of coming to a head. And now that it's starting to get nice out again, it's happening more often. And if you've ever been along that area, it's pretty rough to Sometimes if it gets real busy, they'll park even on the other side, almost to the point where you can't get a single car through. So I'd like to ask city staff to, I don't even know what I would say, draft in. I know you have to have approval from all of us in order to put up signs that state no parking along Falcon Lakes Drive. Is that something that I can ask city staff to do, to draft for us at our next work session?
Yeah, thank you, Councilmember Sims. So we have a number of roadways, particularly arterials in the city that are designated as no parking for a variety of reasons. That is definitely something that we can put together and have for the city council's consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ben. Sherry.
Yeah. On February 9th, I attended the Leavenworth County Economic Development Committee meeting. February 11th, I went to the Civic Campus groundbreaking. It was a great ceremony, nice brisk morning. On February 20th, I was invited to go to Leavenworth to the Heritage Center and speak on BASER and all of our growth and projects. The mayor came. I appreciate his support that day, and Maddie was my technical assistant. Thank you very much, and put together a really great slideshow. And then this morning, I attended the Collaborating for Regional Prosperity meeting. That was at the KU Edwards campus. And basically, it was a full house. Leavenworth County was well represented. And it was to discuss the new Panasonic battery plant that is going into what's going to be called the Astra Enterprise Park. So, and I believe there'll be future meetings, and I hope to be able to attend those. And then, of course, as you've already mentioned, I plan to attend March 6th for the Tomahawk Park ribbon cutting at 4:00. That's all.
Moving on mayor's report, I just want to say, Maddie, you put a fantastic presentation together. Sherry, you presented it awesome. I was sitting in the audience with a glow on my face, knowing I'm part of this. Along with because of the city council, what you guys have done this year and the great staff that we have, I am honored to be sitting here and talking about what we've accomplished this year. I am really excited about the State of the City address because we have accomplished more than I even thought after looking at that presentation the other day. We had a lot of people come up to us after the meeting and say, wow, we are so happy to know what's going on. Basically, a lot of people didn't know. And hopefully we can make that presentation and let people know what was accomplished last year, because we have got a lot accomplished. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank every one of you guys. It's a great team effort. So that's all I have. Do we have a need for an executive session?
We do, please,
Of
Mayor.
course.
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion to approve a recess into executive session for approximately 25 minutes to discuss potential litigation involving privileged legal communication from the city's attorney pursuant to KSA 754319B2. The justification for the executive session is to keep attorney-client privilege matters confidential at this time. The city council will resume its regular meeting in the council room at approximately 8 p.m. after the executive session is concluded.
I'll second.
Everybody in favor, say aye.
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 Great. Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion that we recess out of executive session with no action taken and reconvene into regular session at this time.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Everything else tonight?
We do that, Mayor.
Need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Everybody say aye.
Aye.
Oh.